Sunderland, they've only won one of their last 8 matches, and it happens to be the most important one of them all, Nigel. But how will they be feeling right now to have won in that way in front of their fans, in front of, what, 46,000 around them?
You can't put it into words. You can't put it into words. And this is it. We talk about the playoff system, how intense it was. They faced a very good Coventry side that was on form. Everyone was talking about Frank Lampard and this Coventry side. They went against their form to get an away win, which put themselves in a great step for playing at home. They got the job done. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. And one thing when you're in a team like that, where you know you didn't play well, and like Grella's right, probably 15 minutes of football was all they played in this game. But to get the job done and know you've got that resilience, you can take nothing but confidence from that. And to win it in the dying minutes in front of your fans, to now know you've got a one-off game. That final in Wembley is a one-off cup final game. It doesn't matter about form, who you're playing against. It's a one-off game that anything can happen. You have a 50% chance of making it to the Premier League. That just makes it so special.
For Coventry on the other side, though, I mean, they've got to be the stuff of nightmares for them, because you boys were saying, how do you let that happen on a corner in the very final kick of the game of this magnitude? To not be marking your man is just so frustrating. Is an understatement.
I was seeing steam coming out of Nigel's head, how angry he was that the freedom of the park. And again, you don't want to lose the game, but to lose it in there, after Frank settles it down, he's going to look back at it and he's going to be very, very disappointed. You don't ever want to concede. But the last kick of the game, before it goes to penalties, that you got a free header. I mean, listen, I've got to wax lyrically, because Ballard's header here, he still has to dip. So he gets up early, then has to dip. Look how low he had to dip. No, I'm not knocking. Yeah, we're talking about the attacking side of this at the moment. So I'm giving props to, look, he dips down. He gets up early.
Unorthodox header, for sure.
Dips down and still controls it to go in. But on the defensive side of it, look, it's poor. He's got a free header in the box.
My thing is, we say it a lot, and it's for the fans to understand. We talk about leadership and leaders on the pitch. If I was on that pitch there, you look at the time, you know what you've already done. We're going to penalties. You give yourself a chance in penalties, because at penalties, again, it's a flip of a coin, but at least you give you a chance in penalties. You don't concede. You're screaming at your teammates. You're cursing everyone. Last kick of the game, get tight. Don't let no one get no free headers. You give a rallying call. That's what leaders do, to let them know, this is the last kick, get tight. You don't concede from that corner. But when you don't have leaders and natural leaders who are willing to put themselves on there, and you read the game, you know what's at stake, you know it's the last kick of the game, and you don't get behind your teammates to say, no free headers, come on, whatever you want to do to motivate your players, that is what's missing. Because you know what? That is a punch to the gut as a player, to lose like that in the last kick of the game when you could have gone penalties and you could have maybe won in penalties. Who knows? Yeah. But at least take it to penalties to get a reward for what you've done for an entirety of the 90 minutes plus and extra time. That hurts the most.
It is. And it's a moment from a set piece. And yeah, we're thinking, everyone's thinking, the whole world's thinking penalties, and then that play happens. And you could analyze every goal against you and look at the little things and say, well, this was wrong and we should have done this better. And they will do that. But just from a more macro perspective for Frank, they've got to hold their heads up high. What they able to do this season, where he picked up a team that had some decent infrastructure, but were like, 5-6 points from the relegation zone, to get that. He won 9 out of 10 games to get them even in the conversation of playoffs, gets them into the playoffs, and then to have this type of performance where over 180 minutes, the better team was Coventry, for sure. Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of. All the players, I thought the courage on the ball from Sakamoto, Mason Clark, Rudoni. The only one I think will probably have some regrets in the game, had a very quiet performance, was Haji Wright. Well, our guy, obviously we were expecting a big thing out of him, scoring a hat-trick against them in the last time they played each other. But everyone in Coventry should hold their heads up very high, including Frank Lampard. They did a fantastic job since he's taken over.
Especially Van Avik as well.
Thank you.
He really
awesome.
turned it on.
Thank you.
What happened in the first game, the mistake he made, he showed some, you know what, today.
He can cry now.
Came out and showed some today.
He can cry. I can understand.
He can cry now. I mean, you will be crying if you lose like that. He's going to bloody be crying, because that hurts.
Obviously, it's the biggest game of all in the biggest stadium of all. Wembley Stadium, 3rd against 4th. That is how it finished, obviously, in terms of the table. Cruel for Coventry. But for this final, It's a great one, isn't it? Obviously, we were talking, who does it favour? Sheffield United will probably feel like the favourites going into the game, Grella, but going in off that, if they can come back down to reality and take all the confidence in the world from how they've managed these two games, it'll be a special night.
For Sunderland, for me, their strength is the little bit of the chaotic football. They've never been a team to possess the ball. I didn't expect them to do that today. But I think they have to play. Which Sunderland are we going to get? The one that sits in the 4-4-2 and invites pressure from Sheffield United? Because I think then it'll be a long final for them. Or are we going to get the one that turns it into a little bit of a track meet? They got young players. They got athletic players. They got players that love to play that type of box-to-box football. That's when they look the most dangerous. In that type of game, I like Sunderland. Oof. In any other type of game, though, I like Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United have everything. They can hurt you in so many different ways. They're also good from set pieces. They're physical. They're courageous on the football as well. So the advantage is to Sheffield United. But if Sunderland play for 90 minutes, Sunderland have a big chance also in the match.
I'll probably say I fancy Sheffield United. I think they're the better complete squad. I think if Sunderland play as adventurous as they do, Sheffield United will take full advantage of that. They know how to get the job done. Their manager, Chris Wilder, has just said it. It's about winning football matches. Doesn't care about a lot of other things. It's about winning. And that's one thing that I admire about the culture that he's created in the Sheffield United side and what we've seen the entirety of the season. It's about winning. Yep. Forget all these tactics and style of play. We have to do whatever we have to do to get the result. He will pick a team that is suited best facing this Sunderland side. Remember, it's a young side. The pressure's really going to mount now because this is what you've worked hard for. Now you're at Wembley. This is the game. This is the one game that gets you to the Premier League. Now are we going to see whether this side is really too young? Because this is it now. You can't hide. You're in the big national stadium. Sheffield United have the experience. They can play their way into the game. Are these youngsters going to come in there full of energy, too much adrenaline and lose themselves?
I'll second that. I think you play a two-legged tie different to a final, so I think, Sunderland will play it differently anyway. But just Sheffield United's squad, the changes, if it's not going right, you saw the changes, you saw who they rested for the semi-final. I think, like I've said, Sheffield United's a juggernaut in this league, and I think they've got it all from the manager to the players. But again, it's an intriguing final, so we look forward to it.
But that's what I'm saying. If Sunderland don't play the game, if they try to say, 4-4-2, we're going to be organized, that's not their game. Their game is the transitional game. That's where they've hurt teams all year that were in the top six. They've been successful. They made 76 points playing that way. If they play that way where they're super pragmatic like they did over two legs against Coventry, I'm not saying that they will, but if they do, Sheffield United will beat them at that game.
They got through. They got through. So to play that way, that's what I said. Two-legged tie is different from a single. They got through.
Who wears the red and white?
Well, Jeff went through a whole thing, but it looks like it may be Sheffield United, right? Because they have the higher seed. I don't know. We still don't know.
Really interesting.
We still don't know.
In terms of the results this season between the two, here's just a reminder of them. Even coming into this game, Sunderland, they struggled, didn't they, against Coventry? But in terms of Sheffield United and Sunderland, on Matchday 25, Sunderland had a 2-1 win, and then Sheffield United won 1-0. So it's kind of split between them. No one can really take probably confidence from that, but Sheffield United, just to answer your question, will wear their red and white traditional kits.
Home kit advantage, Grella. How do you feel about that?
I think this tells you everything you need, this graphic right here. That Sunderland has the tools to beat them. I don't think it's as straightforward as, Sheffield United had the better squad, they're going to beat them. I think Sunderland has a big chance in this game.
That was the craziest moment of my life, and hopefully many Sunderland fans' lives. It was scenes, wasn't it?
Can you try and put into words how it felt when you did that, the last play of the game, at the end of extra time?
Honestly, it was. I was trying to get all my emotions. It was incredible, and the fans today were absolutely incredible, and they supported us the whole game, and it felt like we wasn't going to give them that moment. So to be able to do that, they're incredible, and what a moment.
Right before the corner, do you think, right, this is it? If I get my head on this, we've got a chance?
Yeah, well, I was thinking Didier Drogba in the Champions League final. That's what I had in my head. Just made the little run off the near post, and it was a great ball in. I've jumped far too high because just.
Did you jump early?
I jumped early. I'm so keen to get the ball. I jumped early and stooped down, and I don't know how it went in. I just heard the noise, and it was just pandemonium.
I mean, you were the hero in the first leg, and again tonight, you and Luke 09, you were the weir side wall. It felt like they had 1,000 crosses.
Yeah, they did. You know, we limited them just to crosses. You know, we let them play out wide and put the ball in the box. And I thought we defended the box really well. And you know, it's disappointed obviously to concede tonight. And it was great character from the lads to stick in there. And I thought we created enough in the end to score the winner.
How much did this crowd play a part in the victory tonight?
I mean, all day they've been brilliant. You know, they lined the streets as we came in, and we was desperate to do it for the fans. And you know, nights like these, you know, this is why you play football. And we was desperate to win it for them.
Are you still struggling to take it in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing that. Yeah, it's a crazy night. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I probably thought I wouldn't play a game. You know, I was still coming back from injury, and I'm happy Reggie's give me the call to start. And yeah, I didn't expect to even play 2 weeks ago. So it's been two good games.
You're going to Wembley, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really tough game, but hopefully we can, you know, create another atmosphere like this today. And anything can happen on the day, and we'll be right up for it, and we'll prepare right for it. So all the lads are buzzing for it.
Another player that's been so impressive, not over these 2 legs only, but the entire season, is the Young Player of the Year, Nigel. Jobe Bellingham. He plays with Jobe on his back. He wants to make his own name, and he really has done that.
He does. I'm going to let my brother Mike take this because he's a big fan.
I am a big fan, and Nigel said something in the pregame that I was like, "Whoa, those are big words, big compliments." He says, "I think he's better than Jude in the defensive end." And how about this? And I think he's right. Look at the defensive work he does. Not just reading the play, but watch this one. It's so easy to give up there. He tracks the runner. He cuts it off. He's just always giving the back line an extra number there, reading plays, winning things, drawing fouls. And the sort of attention to detail he puts on both sides of the football is incredible.
Snuffs out danger ever so well. And if you say box-to-box midfielder in a modern game, he has all the attributes to be an absolutely amazing box-to-box midfielder.
He's a rising star, but is he Premier League level now? Do you think if it doesn't go their way in the play-off final, do you think he'll be on the move next season?
Yeah, if it doesn't go, it'd be very, very hard to keep him. You can see, listen, player of the season, you watch him there, listen, he plays, he's footballing IQ, he plays way older than his age. Yeah. But if they do get promoted, then they'll have an opportunity to keep him there, but he's got to play on the highest level because he is a rising star.
Well, he's already been linked to German clubs as well. I, for me, can see him taking the same route as his brother, Jude.
Even if they get promoted?
Even if they get promoted, I can see him taking that same route because you can go to play in the Bundesliga depending on what teams it is. If it's a Champions League team, you're still playing a very competitive domestic league and you also get the European experience now. But everything that you said, he's got great football intelligence, great awareness. I see him as a box-to-box midfielder. For him to get to that next level, a lot of consistent goals, at least 10 goals a season, you'd say, you know what, he's at that level because everything else he does, he's already there.